난 제일 신난 것 같아, 내가 볼 때는.
아니 안 신나냐고.
신나요. 아, 형 이런 거 처음 보니까.
아니 음악하는 사람이 어떻게 안 신날 수가 있어.
신나죠.
Hello everyone, welcome back to JIKOOK Diaries channel. The live broadcast began. No one was quite prepared for what was about to happen. The title was simple, the atmosphere was relaxed, and his facial expressions looked normal. But as the live stream went on, more and more ARMYs began to notice something that felt different. Did you see this? Jungkook secretly mentions Jimin all live long JIKOOK Clues Everywhere. The sentence wasn't just clickbait because if you pay close attention, there are so many small moments that make fans pause, replay, and then ask each other questions in the comments section. Jungkook is known for being relaxed and spontaneous on live. He often jokes around, speaks frankly, and sometimes lets his thoughts flow without a script. But in this broadcast, there was a consistent pattern. It wasn't the overt mentioning of names every minute, but rather the way he built stories, related experiences, and dropped subtle hints that, whether intentional or not, always culminated in one name that was always on his mind. The name was, of course, Jimin. Some viewers caught it right from the start. When he talked about his eating habits, the songs he was listening to, even his practice schedule, he always had a side note like, this reminds me of, or, someone usually comments when I'm like this. And every time that sentence lingered, his smile changed. It wasn't a typical smile. It was a softer smile, a slightly lowered gaze, as if a memory had surfaced. To some, this might seem like a coincidence. But to those who have long followed JIKOOK's dynamics, small patterns like this rarely occur without significance. The relationship between Jungkook and Jimin has been a hot topic of discussion among ARMY for years. From on-stage interactions and behind-the-scenes moments to small details like matching accessories, everything was always analyzed with meticulous attention. This live broadcast felt different because Jungkook didn't just mention Jimin once or twice. He kept returning to topics that indirectly referred to him. While discussing exercise, he mentioned that there was someone who always encouraged him in some way. When discussing the song, he mentioned that he learned a lot about emotional expression from someone very close. And when asked who has been contacting him the most lately, he chuckled before teasingly answering. Many fans felt that Jungkook wasn't trying to hide anything. Instead, he seemed to be giving the audience space to discover the connection for themselves. There were no direct confessions, no dramatic lines, but there was consistency. And consistency often speaks louder than grand statements. One particularly talked about moment was when Jungkook spontaneously sang a snippet of a song Jimin had previously covered. He didn't mention the title, but the melody and style were very distinctive. As soon as he noticed the audience's reaction in the comments section, he smiled and said, you guys are so fast." That simple sentence sparked 1,000 speculations. Quick to grasp what? Quick to realize who he was referring to? Small interactions like this made the live broadcast feel full of clues. There were parts where he talked about his favorite color, then suddenly switched the topic to old memories from their tour together. There were also times when he pointed to items around him and said they were gifts from old friends. The way he said the phrase sounded so personal that many immediately associated it with Jimin. Their relationship has always been in the spotlight since their debut in BTS. From trainee days to global stars, their journey has seen them grow together in front of the camera. That closeness wasn't built overnight. It was formed through years of training, industry pressures, and small moments we might never fully see. What made this live special was the different energy. Jungkook seemed more open, lighter, and bolder in letting Jimin's name come up in his conversations. Even when he didn't mention it explicitly, the context he built made the audience feel like Jimin was always there in the background. Some ARMYs said this was a form of comfort. When someone feels secure enough, they're no longer so careful about hiding references to people they care about. They'll mention them naturally, without pressure. And that's what was felt throughout the live. There was also a moment when Jungkook read a comment that touched on friendship within the group. He paused for a few seconds before replying that a strong relationship doesn't always needs to be explained to the public. The sentence sounds simple, but its meaning is profound. He seems to acknowledge that not everything needs to be announced to be real.
내일 저녁에 뭘까?
침 말고?
Some might consider all of this an overinterpretation, but for fans who have followed the smallest details for years, changes in expression, pauses in sentences, and even tone of voice can be powerful emotional cues. And this live was full of such details. Interestingly, Jungkook didn't look awkward. He actually seemed to be enjoying the audience's reaction. When comments about JIKOOK flooded the screen, he didn't deny or deflect forcefully. He simply laughed, shook his head, and continued speaking. This response gave the impression that he was fully aware of how every word would be interpreted. This phenomenon demonstrates how powerful the dynamic between Jungkook and Jimin is in the public eye. It's not just because they're both talented and popular, but because of their authentic chemistry. Whether it's a deep friendship or something more personal, there's a clear connection that can't be ignored. The live ultimately ended with a warm thank you. But even in the final seconds, Jungkook repeated that he would tell someone about the fan response that night. Again, no names. But the pattern was all too clear to many. Did you see this? The question continued to resonate long after the broadcast ended. Because for those who watched closely, the live stream wasn't just casual chatter. It felt like a series of clues deliberately tucked in between the laughter and songs. In the end, we'll probably never get a definitive answer about what really happened behind the scenes. But one thing is undeniable, Jungkook seemed happy. And that happiness often came through when he talked about Jimin, either directly or implicitly. JIKOOK Clues Everywhere isn't just a slogan. It's a reflection of how two individuals who have shared so many moments together are still connected in ways that make millions smile. Whether it's an incredibly close friendship or a more complex dynamic, their relationship continues to be a source of curiosity and hope. And perhaps that's what made this live stream so memorable. Not because of any big confessions or dramatic statements, but because of the small honesty that felt real. In an entertainment world full of strategy and restrictions, spontaneous moments like this feel rare. So, did you see it too? Or maybe you felt it? Because sometimes, it's not the words spoken aloud that speak loudest, but rather the subtle whispers that recur throughout the night. If you felt the same way during the live, let us know in the comments. Do you think it was a deliberate hint? Or just a coincidence too sweet to ignore? Your discussions are always a joy to read, so feel free to share your theories. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed discussing hidden moments between Jungkook and Jimin, and subscribe to stay updated on their progress and the BTS dynamic. Also, turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when there's a new analysis. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And who knows, maybe the next live will give us even more clues.